YouTube, is Samsung season, and Samsung is back at it with their Ultra device, the S24 Ultra, which is one of the creme de la cremes of Android by far. We're gonna get into the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Like, you know, I don't discriminate. I keep it 100,000 a buck. But there's a lot of great things to like about the S24 Ultra, and there's some things that I'm gonna point out that other people won't because they're afraid of not, you know, being in the good graces with said company. But you guys are who I do this for. I don't do this for, you know, anyone else but you guys, to keep the brand legit. So that's where my focus is when it comes to these reviews. This is my channel. I should be able to speak freely, and a brand should be able to work with you in that sense. I'm just sharing my experience, my user experience. That's the wholehearted truth, the only honest way that I do these reviews, and that's just the way that it's going to be. So let's talk about the S24 Ultra. Should I get into like some of the cons, some of the juicy stuff around this thing? Should we start off with the good, the light and fluffy? Should I follow the, you know, start here at design and go to display and stuff like that? All right, let's get into it. So let's start off with the design of the S24 Ultra, which in my opinion is a great choice by Samsung to go with this titanium build, titanium look, the matte frosted glass back. It's just a beautifully designed device. I gotta keep it a buck. And then now they have the flat OLED panel. Before I talk about the display in full, because there's an update coming to the display for those people who were feeling a little iffy about the Vivid. And the update that Samsung made is actually really good because you're gonna get a Vivid slider, meaning that you can choose the amount of vividness that you want in your OLED panel. Just used to be natural or vivid. I always put my OLED panel on natural because to me that's the most color accurate, and it's natural. It's the most natural color representation. Versus the Vivid, it adds the pop, the extra saturation, and that is ideal viewing experience for the, I guess, typical consumer, so to speak. So that's a smart update from Samsung. See, listen, this is the Samsung that I know and love, is the ones that listen to the consumers and make decisions and updates based on that. That's the Samsung that I fell in like and in love with back when I was on my Galaxy Note binge. And you know, that's the Samsung I want to continue. So when I'm hard on them, it's because I need them to be that Samsung, period. The design is really nice. You got these nice aluminum sidings. The weight reduction that we have in the S24 Ultra is welcome. Now, let me pull out the trusted S23 Ultra, right? Definitely can feel the weight difference. Can't really tell the design difference. Had to throw that in there, that's a joke. Now let's talk about the OLED panel, because this is a shining, I don't know you guys, like for me the fingerprint sensor has been not so good. I know everyone else is having good, it's hit or miss for me. Listen, I've added my fingerprint sensor. At first I thought it was because I burnt my fingertips, like these two, on the drill bit, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add my fingerprint in here right now real quick. I know I'm supposed to be talking about the OLED panel, but let me just do this really fast. So as you guys can see, I have my fingerprints in there one time. I'm gonna add them again, right? I'll fast forward through this. I won't let you guys sit through the entire process, but I'm literally, you guys can see, I'm adding. Okay, so boom, done. Let me add another one, right? And mind you, this is the second time I'm adding it. Like in the past, you know, with fingerprint sensors, it's always been like, oh, you added twice and then you shouldn't have an issue, because it's supposed to be a new fingerprint sensor on the S24 Ultra, right? Okay, boom, let me get it. Okay, there we go. So if you're having trouble with the fingerprint sensor, add it twice and that should help fix that situation. Okay, so let's clarify a lot of the confusion and some of the like hate or dislike for this new panel. It's not that it's flat. What people don't like is the anti-reflective property. They like the fact that it's anti-reflective and how it performs, but they don't like the after effect of that. It's not as saturated. It does have like a dim look to it. Like I have to bring this thing to full max brightness and it still kind of has this dim look to it. Now, when you're looking at it directly, it comes to life a little bit more, but like at an off, looking at it directly, and then when you get kind of like off axis, that anti-reflective property dims the color property. Let's just be real. This is a beautiful panel. It's gonna look great when watching content and media and so forth, but I can understand why some consumers are a little off-put by this anti-reflective property. It's just because it just kind of changes the interaction with the colors and the representation. I don't know, I can't really put it into words, but even me when filming this, I can tell my panel just always looks dim while recording. So there's just something to keep in mind about it. It's not a con because the anti-reflectiveness is a plus. It's a added feature to the user experience, but it does come at a cost. So these panels aren't as vibrant and saturated. We'll see with the update drops if that improves anything. I'll do like a tech corner, like hot news take, and just update you guys and let you guys know. But that's something to keep in mind. Yet and still, Samsung has some of the best, if not the best, OLED, AMOLED panels in the market, like period. So we have to give props to that. That's just something to keep in mind with the S24 Ultra. Now moving forward, platform. Platform is interesting for me this year because I love One UI 6. We got One UI 6.1 on here. It's going in a great direction, but as you guys can see, I don't use One UI. I use Nova Launcher because ultimately for me with customization and being able to back up my customized template and move it to phone, Nova Launcher is supreme at doing that because you got Good Lock and One UI and they're not one and it's just convoluted. But someone made a good point that Good Lock doesn't work with the Exynos version of smartphones. It's only with Snapdragon, which is probably why it's separate. And it's just, this is the fragmentation with Android that becomes complicated because you don't give the exact same user experience across the board. You got Exynos users, they got a different chip, they got a different user experience. Their report back is totally different than us Snapdragon users. Fragmentation, Android, that's the part, that's the problem. Gotta get it like locked in to where every single person that purchased this device has the exact same experience. That's one thing that you do get with the Apple fruit company that everyone just loves to hate, which I'm gonna pull out because there's gonna be a comparison point that I gotta make in between this and the S24 Ultra really quick. But all in all, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, phenomenal as far as bringing some efficiency and optimization to the Android Samsung platform. Finally, great battery life, great efficiency, love it. Keep it going in this direction, only get better from here, right? The One UI 6.1, and then you got Good Lock if you want to get that extra customized user experience, but I choose Nova Launcher, just period. And if you guys want to know the Nova Launcher setup that I do have, which is you guys can see have the hidden folders and things like that, I'll do an updated video, but also will link the most recent video that I made showing you that. Now, here's a con that I have with the S24 Ultra. This has Wi-Fi 7. Now I got the brand new Netgear Orbi 7 Wi-Fi Beast, right? Wi-Fi 7 Beast. But for a device that has Wi-Fi 7, my speeds are inconsistent. And it's to the point where it's not acceptable. Like, I gotta be honest. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up the speed test app. You guys are gonna see, and I'm gonna run the speed test right here live. Now, let's see, come on. The fact that it's even taking this long to connect is wild. Now, I've done everything like put it in airplane mode, only Wi-Fi and all that stuff. I've done so many things to help it improve. Look at these speeds, you guys. I have 5 gigabit up, 5 gigabit down internet. And these are the speeds that I'm getting on Wi-Fi 7. And you can see the Wi-Fi 7 emblem right there, just to know I'm not capping. This thing has a SIM card, an eSIM in it. This thing is activated. Everything is legit about this thing. And look at that, 135 up, 155. Wait, 135 down, 155 up. That is sad. And here's another thing, consistency. This is why people tend to like to use, the fruit company, right? And I'm not saying this to make it seem as if the fruit company is better. I'm just showing you consistency. How is it that a Wi-Fi 7 product cannot beat a Wi-Fi 6E product? And I've done this test multiple times and I've gotten consistent results. Wi-Fi 6E on the iPhone 15 Pro Max is giving me crazy numbers, you guys. Look at this. 1450 down versus 135 down, 1507 up versus 155 up. Disappointing. There's only been one time, and I'll show a screen grab on the S24 Ultra that I got it to actually replicate Wi-Fi 7 speeds. That's disappointing. Now, I don't know what the fix is for that and how we remedy that, but that needs to be fixed ASAP. Okay, let's continue on down the line and let's talk. I kind of alluded to battery already. Battery is great. I don't have to have a large conversation. If you're looking for a battery beast, you can go S24 Ultra, or you can save some money and go S23 Ultra. The S23 Ultra is not off the table with this new iteration. So if you can get this and save money versus this, or if you can get this and save money versus this, go this. Obviously, if you can get the better deal with the S24 Ultra, it's the no-brainer. But if the S23 Ultra is giving you better price point, eventually we'll get the AI features that this has and so forth. It's definitely the better bargain because we all know, let's be real, Samsung devices do not hold their value well at all, especially in comparison to like an iPhone. It's just the frank truth, honest. You're oblivious if you don't acknowledge that. Now, let's talk about cameras. Cameras. Now I'm gonna show you guys all real world camera usage in different situations. Low light, driving in the car, and then outside. But I also wanna just give my truth, as I always do when it comes to cameras. Color science is not correct with the S24 Ultra. It's never been on Samsung's camera app. It always boosts whites, which makes your skin pale. It does not give you the skin tones that you actually have, especially for someone who has more pigmentation and more skin tone going on. Now, I'm gonna show you guys right here, right now, live in the flesh. This is a camera that actually captures my skin tone properly. So if I shoot in the exact same situation and you guys compare, there's no excuses. From that, you guys can see. So you can look at this right here, right now, and look on this camera, and you guys can tell me, are my skin tones right? Now I'm gonna switch it to the rear facing camera. Now this is the rear camera, which should be the better camera, which should give you close enough to these skin tones in this shot. Is it performing? And be real, like Samsung Nikes, like for real, put your fanboyism and your bias aside and comment down below the truth. Because this is what this is all about. Because that's the only way Samsung is going to change. A big reason why Samsung doesn't change is because you Samsung Nikes support the foolery. The same thing that you accuse the Apple fanboys of doing, which there are Apple fanboys that do what you accuse them of, you guys do the same thing for Samsung. Again, the camera is never going to be the best camera of any smartphone if they don't have skin tones right. That's my hot take and that's my truth. Now let's go use the camera. All right, so let's kick this off with the front-facing camera on the Samsung S24 Ultra. I'm out in broad daylight. I'm in the shaded area because sun doesn't hit directly at this positioning. So, you know, it is what it is, but it's still the best situation to put the front-facing camera using the stock app. I'm not in pro camera mode just yet. Or should we switch? The only unfortunate thing about using pro video mode on the front-facing camera is I can't put an ND filter to control that. Now, there will be no ND filters in this video because I'm going to wait until I do the camera settings video where I teach you guys how to get the best out of the S24 Ultra camera. As that video was popular with you guys with the S23 Ultra, we're bringing it back with the S24 Ultra. So subscribe, turn on the bell for that video. And let's get to the rear facing. All right, this is the rear facing camera in the stock app. Just giving you the sauce. This is the best camera that you can use on the S24 Ultra. Broad daylight, shaded conditions though. The sun is over there and there's a lot of ice and snow in the grass. I'm not sure the angle right now, so we'll wait on that. And again, on the rear facing camera, I'm unable to get my shutter speed to the proper rate because I don't have the ND filter. But here's my thing. This is one of the things I want to talk about, and this is one of those like it's those 50-50 spots when it comes to naming the S24 Ultra as the best, you know, smartphone overall, because the camera, like, obviously I guess I'm one of few or one of not many who cares that their skin tones are not correct when I use this camera on this smartphone, and that's something I just can't let slide. Now, obviously, you know, maybe for the majority it works and it's fine, but for me it's just not okay, and I think that they need to correct that. I've said this year after year for so many years, and Samsung has kept this same algorithm, and they literally crank whites. White has a bump. If you do a raw photo and you look at the information that's brought in when you look in a Camera Raw app or like a Lightroom or something, you're going to see that Samsung is cranking the whites. So this is intentional, and this is something that they just won't get rid of. So it's something that I got to speak on until they correct it, because, You know, it needs to be more all-inclusive. Like Pixel did an initiative to include all skin tones. Apple, although they didn't do it full-on initiative, they always use different skin tones in their promo videos, and they always are what I believe to be inclusive in their camera. Is it perfect? No, but it's better than this one. And that's my gripe. Until they fix skin tones, I can't give this camera the best camera over any other camera. Although I know how to freak this camera and make it look extremely good in the camera settings video that's coming up. I'll show you guys how to do it too. And then there's the beloved ultra wide video mode, which is the vlog mode or whatever, you know what I'm saying, on the standard camera app. And yeah, but I mean, this is the most ideal recording setup right here. So if it can't perform in this situation, I don't know when it ever will, or if it will. But one thing that is interesting is how great the camera is when you're shooting products, not necessarily faces. It's like it recognizes that there's a face there, and it does that intentional, you know, whitening. And outside of that though, when you're shooting like other things like objects and so forth, the color science is so much better. Galaxy Watch 6 Classic with the custom watch face. If you guys want to know how to get these watch faces, I have a video on the channel, as well as showing you the watch bands and having links to that. So get your Watch 6 Classic and get it to look like this or better. All right, so you guys saw it. The reality is, to get the best out of this camera, you got to use the Pro Video, Pro Camera modes. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that in the video that's coming up soon. I'm going to show you guys how to get the true quality out of these good physical cameras. The camera hardware is good. The camera software, not so much. But when you use the Pro mode, which allows you to take control, you get better camera results. And that's the end of the discussion when it comes to the S24 Ultra camera. I can never give it better camera over the iPhone because of that. I can never give it better camera over the Pixel, which I would go grab, but I'm not, because it's, you know, I just moved, I got things all over the place. I can't do that because skin tones are better on those devices. But well, actually I could give it over the Pixel, because in many ways it could kick the Pixel's butt in camera, like performance and stuff. But it's just color representation, color science. Samsung, get your color science, get your skin tones right, please. Okay, end of that rant when it comes to camera. Now, next topic of discussion, performance. Come on, you guys, this is the Ultra device. Latest Snapdragon chip, has a really powerful GPU. They have the new heat sink in there, or heat chamber or whatever. I mean, come on, man, it's a smartphone that's super thin. You still can, you know, push these and, you know, hit thresholds. But very well performing device, very high end, especially in graphics. It outperforms the iPhone in graphics. But when it comes to raw CPU power, the iPhone still kicks Samsung's butt, and it's done that year after year. That's one of the things that I challenge Samsung to do. Can Snapdragon and Samsung beat the iPhone in CPU? You've done it in GPU, can you do it in CPU? My challenge to the manufacturers. This is better for us. Allow me to challenge Samsung without you guys pulling out your swords and defending the foolery. You should want them to do the things that I'm asking, okay? I'm the fanboy. No, you are the fanboy. All right, let me get off the audience. Let's continue on. User experience. The most important conversations piece, or the topic that we could talk about in any of these reviews, is user experience, right? And let me just say this before I continue on, because in this space, a lot of people are afraid to speak the truth. As you guys see in my videos, I don't care. Samsung should want to work with me. Samsung should want to send me their device and have me yield, you know, a positive speaking. Like, I'm not negative. Yeah, I'm constructive. All of my criticism is constructive for improvement. Yes, I do feel like I deserve early review units to speak to you guys, period. At Samsung, tell them send CJ Knows Tech every Samsung phone at embargo, period. Now, user experience. The user experience is the most important topic because it's the collective of everything. Me using my Samsung Watch 6 Classic in combination with this, my everyday use. How does the adding of all of these specs and features that they talk about at the keynote, how does it really pan out? The AI features that you actually use and not the ones that are advertised, you know what I mean? Circle to search, probably the only AI feature that I will put to use, you know? And every now and then you might need the erase tool, which is cool, but that's been around, you know what I mean? It's nothing new. What is the user experience? For me personally, the S24 Ultra has been a pleasant device to use. I've been enjoying it. You know, you say one constructive thing, everyone thinks you're hating. No, if you listen to all of my videos, the overall, even for Samsung, yo, listen to the overall and not just the 5% where I'm constructive, listen to the 95% where I'm actually objective and I do speak good to this device. Because it is a good phone, especially if you're in the Android hemisphere. I think it's a great phone. The funny thing is, let me just say this. Everyone always wants to say, oh, it's the best phone, the best phone. The best phone has everything well-rounded enough for the collective and user experience to be smooth or even or ideal across the board. There aren't, you know, radicals or like strong throw-offs in certain areas. It's just like if you calculate it and you're looking at median point, you're hitting it. And that's what makes the best phone. Now, whether this does it or not is up for debate. I'll talk about it at the end of the year after we get the iPhone and the latest Pixel. User experience are great on these devices. I mean, it's one of the most power-packed Androids, one of the most customizable Androids. It's one of the better Androids out of the Android bunch. It's one of the big companies, the big three. The big three I like to talk is Apple, Google, and Samsung. So what's interesting though is Apple did pass Samsung in overall units and market share in the mobile market. That's another video, another topic, another discussion. So it's interesting to see that. Like what has happened to make Apple creep past Samsung and Samsung to take a reduction. Now, Samsung has made a smart move in focusing more on refinements than trying to always innovate, but has that come at a cost? Is Samsung not pushing the boundaries, causing them to take a hit, or what? Because how do you lose to a device that's only about refinements when you are the innovative pusher, you know? But all in all, the collective, when you look at this device, is ideal. Now, there's been a lot of bumps in the road for user experience on the S24 Ultra out the gate. You have the screen issue. A lot of people complaining about Vivid not being there. They have to release an update for that. The camera, there were issues with the camera, and there still are issues with the camera. In the update, you know, they're promising camera setting fixes and things like that. It's interesting to me that a device that comes out, all devices are like this now in the tech space, and needs updates to, you know, remedy things, and I get it. It's like the soft launch. The people who get it first, you're like the soft launch. And then they find out the issues that are apparent once the public get them, and they address them in the update. That's why these long-term reviews are important. The little 2-week review that everyone does, they move on, you know, and they no longer have the device. How are you getting value out of that when there's updates that come later? That's why long-term, long-form reviews are the true review that you need to get into, which is why I'm going to be giving you guys updated reviews month after month and so forth on this device as the updates come. Or maybe as soon as the update come, I can make a video about it and share that with you guys. You know, hit the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys want. But I'm here for you guys, and that's the thing. I'm not just here for me. All around, like if I think someone's shopping this and this is a device that they're considering, I think it's a great device to pick up. Is it all the way 100% and well-rounded? No. Is it the majority of what you need to have an ideal user experience? Yes. Is it the phone of the year for 2024 already, as people are claiming? I don't think so. Like, that's just me being honest, because there's too much coming for you to just give it that. Like, that's just hype. You feel me? For a phone to come out in February and just guarantee phone of the year, no, it's not doing that. And this came out in the end of January, basically February. We still need to see the updates that are coming, the promises. We still need to see those, you know, actualized. And then we need to see what the competition is bringing. We need to see what the Pixel is going to bring, and we need to see what the iPhone 16 is going to bring. Unfortunately, there's more not so good news when it comes to the Z Fold 6, which we're going to talk about in the upcoming video. My name is CJ. This is the S24 Ultra. A month later, is it a go? Yes. Is it a no? Sometimes. Is it the best? I don't think so. But is it worth picking up and purchasing? Yes and no. Versus video against the S23 Ultra coming. That's gonna be spicy because I'm gonna be honest, it's tough to say what are the you know, initiatives to make you feel like this is better than this. There are some that some people may argue, and there are some that, I mean, aren't like really necessarily the reasoning. We're gonna do the versus against the iPhone, that's coming, and we'll do the Pixel, there's some other devices I gotta do it against. The Z Fold and so on. So you already know what to do. If you haven't hit the bell, if you haven't even turned on subscribe, what are you doing, bro? My name is CJ. Peace.
No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, new watch, good timing, yeah. Need no middleman, I'm the man to man, send it in. I like what I like, me, I know my rights is sipping in. I like having fun, I do what I want, it's what it is. For my son and son, for my daughters, yeah, it's for my twin. I work through the night.